Finally. Wonder Woman is directed by Patty Jenkins and stars Gal Gadot. Chris Pine is essentially the origin story of Wonder Woman until Chris Pine's character ends up crash landing into the Amazonians island, and this is where sort of the Germans start to invade, and she finds out about the Great War and goes with Chris Pine to end it. Now, there's one thing everybody wants after seeing this movie, after seeing the amount of trailers and all that kind of thing. They want to know what all the critics have been saying. Is this the greatest movie since The Man of Steel? I'm not a huge fan of The Man of Steel personally, so I'm going to say that this is the greatest film since the Dark Knight trilogy. Or, more importantly, The Dark Knight Rises. So, it's been a while. Now, as for Gal Gadot, however you guys want to say it, sorry if I've said it wrong, I'm sure someone's had a go at someone else for saying it wrong in the past. I liked her in Batman vs Superman. I think that she was the highlight of that movie. I think she was the best part, even better than Batfleck, who everyone's going on about. I still think that she's a lot better. And I'm so glad that she got her own film, and she's even better in her standalone effort. There is some brilliant action set pieces in this movie. They're so captivating. I think the genius of Patty Jenkins directing is that she's put them all in these slow motion, so she'll do a massive thing but it will drag itself out and be really, but it shows all of the action rather than just giving you quick action snapshots, which you get a lot in these movies, sort of the Jason Bourne style stupid editing rather than actually showing you every bit. It may be very heavy on the CGI, which the movie is, but I really think that it's really cleverly used to show every inch of the action, so you do not essentially miss a thing. Now, I also like Gal Gadot's sort of portrayal of Wonder Woman in terms of they kept the original sort of accent with it. She's an Amazonian woman, so she's not going to have the American accent. She's going to have an accent of her own, and I really did appreciate that they're not trying to just pander to an audience to be stupid. They're actually, like, you know, giving her an accent that I think is really reminiscent and really cool. I really do enjoy it. And they kept it with the rest of the Amazonian women as well. I think that the rest of the Amazon, the island is stunning. I think that all of the women in it are fantastic at being what, you know, they show quite a few of the Amazonian women in this. There's a lot of girl power, if you will, with it. It's very, very smartly done, and I really did love the Amazonian, the island and what they did with Wonder Woman. I think it is absolutely refreshing and what I think DC needed, if I'm honest with you, after what we've obviously seen. Now, I also like the character of Steve Trevor, of course, played by Chris Pine. I think he's extremely good as his spy character thing that he is. And you also get the regular Chris Pine quippy, as we've seen in Star Trek and things like that. You really do get his brand of dry humour, which I am quite a fan of. The main thing I'm impressed with him is the chemistry that he has with Gal Gadot and her character as Wonder Woman. I really think that they have brilliant chemistry together on screen. I think they are so good together. It's probably it's the perfect casting. You needed Chris Pine, you needed Gal Gadot, you needed these two people. They are brilliant together. I really did enjoy it. The most captivating part of the movie for me was the relationship between Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor. Now, when it comes to the story of Wonder Woman, I think that seeing her from a young child up to the point where she does eventually, of course, as we know, leave the Amazonians to go and help Steve Trevor, the training and all that kind of thing, it was never drawn out. I think it seemed pretty darn perfect in the pacing of what they did and how they got her to the point where she was before she left. I also, as I slightly mentioned before in the review, that I think that the actual island itself is gorgeous. There's an excellent expositional scene before you see all that kind of thing. I think it's so gorgeously directed and so so well done, and not a lot we've actually seen in all of these kind of these comic book films. I think they are really. I really did enjoy that part and was really interested. There was no real dialogue in that scene. You'll see it if you've seen the film. Of course, no spoilers. I'm just explaining to you what I thought about that scene. But I think it was really, really cool and a really refreshing take on an expositional moment in a film. I would say that certain parts of the story were a bit silly. I think that there's, and if you check out for this, if you have seen the film, or if you haven't, sorry, check out a character called Dr. Poison. Now, I think the actress playing her was okay. I think that she was just, yeah, she was okay what she was doing, but I do think that her character was a little over the top, and it could have been done a little more subtly, a little bit more cleverly than she was portrayed in this movie. But that being said, other than casting inconsistencies, there's one major one that I can't give away for plot reasons, but I think if you've seen it you will understand what I mean by this. But I still think this is the best story they've had so far in the DC universe outside of the Dark Knight trilogy. That might not be saying much if you're also not a fan of the Man of Steel and obviously BVS and maybe hopefully the Batman's good. Let's hope. But this is the best so far, I would personally say. Now let's talk about what I mainly thought before I went to see this movie, was the reviews. Now, Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie obviously huge kudos, which is very rare for them. It was, I think, a 93%, and IMDb have given this film nearly a 9 out of 10 in their reviews. Now, my personal standpoint from the film is that I wouldn't say it's nearly 100% of a movie. I wouldn't say it's, you know, like Citizen Kane in terms of its review scores, but I'd say that it is a great movie. It really is a great movie. But I do personally think that people are looking at it through rose-tinted specs at the moment, mainly because I think it is one of the only good things after the shambolic crap that we've had in the past, you know, with DC. I do think that Gal Gadot is awesome. I think that Wonder Woman is so far my favourite DC, other than, I'd say it's like Dark Knight, Wonder Woman. You know, I think she's awesome, really brilliant. But I am really happy because as you can see, huge Marvel boy here, and I think that DC have had awesome luck with the DC video games, but they've been struggling with movies. It's been dragging through the dirt, but I really think now they've picked it up, and as I say, let's hope the Batman's just as good and we can build them back up, because I am a DC fan, but Marvel have just been on this constant rise, whereas DC have been lagging a bit up until now, I will say. Guys, go and check it out. I think it is a fantastic film, what DC needed to kick them up the arse and really get themselves going. That being said, guys, I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 5. I wanted to give it a little bit more, but there's some characters I just disagreed with, and I think, not characters, but that I think the casting was a bit stupid at points, and I just couldn't get my head around them. But other than that, I will give this movie a 4 out of 5. Please, guys, do go check it out, and if you have seen the movie, please let me know what you think. I'd love to know what you thought about the movie. Maybe you're happy with the casting choices. Maybe you think the same as me. Please let me know down below in the comments. I will have more content coming out soon. Please let me know what you thought, guys, and I will speak to you all later. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you're into that kind of, you know, stalkery thing, if you are, then you can, but not too much. But you can check me out on Facebook, on Twitter, and of course subscribe to me, but try not to stalk me too much, because it's just a bit weird. So yeah, if you want to do that, then go for it, but don't be weird, yeah? Yeah. I'll see you later. Bye.